Welcome to the Happiness Happens podcast. I'm Simona Nicole, host of the show, mindset coach, and motivational speaker. I've made it my mission to help you get unstuck, shift your mindset, and understand your worth to help you live your most purposeful life. Each week, I will bring you an idea, guest, or a positive thought that will leave you inspired and empowered to win your life. We decide the stories we tell ourselves and where we invest our energy. I'm so grateful you popped in. Now let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode on the Happiness Happens podcast. I'm so excited to bring you today's guest. She's so awesome. I've been listening to her content and we connected a while ago. But yeah, I think this episode is just going to be really, really good, really insightful, and really powerful for you to listen to. Her name is Tanya J Miller, and she's a certified life coach with over 18 years of experience working with youth, young adults, and women throughout the community and in ministry to pursue purpose, passion, vision, and destiny. Tanya holds a BBA in Finance and Business Management from Northwood University and an MBA from Regent University. She is a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt and ScrumMaster and the owner of Tanya J Miller LLC, where she's an accomplished author, motivational speaker, life coach, and leadership strategist. So Tanya, welcome to the show.
Hello, Simona, and hello to the Happiness Happens family. Like, I'm excited. Like, we're going to be happy and we're going to make it happen all at the same time. So I'm excited.
I love that so much. It's funny. I was thinking about today where the name originally came from and like how I originally came up with the podcasting because I wanted to write a post about it. And yeah, it's just funny that you split it up and brought it exactly like that. I love it. Okay, to start us off, can you just tell us a little bit about your journey and sort of how you've ended up where you are? What's brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, so I will give you the short version, or at least I'm going to try. It basically started a while back. I had a vlog. I actually had a nonprofit years ago and a business. So that was a part of the journey. But I will start 2007 and newly married, moved across the country, left all the family, the whole nine, and left my job without a job over there. They wouldn't hire. They were like, first of all, we don't even know what you do. We don't understand what options are, calls, puts. And I was like, but I just want a job. So it literally took me 6 months to get a job, and that kind of became the cycle. I would probably work a year or two, then I would get laid off, and then I'll work another year or two, and then I would get laid off. And in between when I was working, then my husband would get laid off, and he would get laid off. So we were probably laid off between the both of us at least 6 times in 7 years. And I was like, this is not fun. But a lot of people don't realize that particular area was hit bad with the recession. Like, not only was it just the homes, but a lot of people didn't put two and two together that when the prices of homes go down, that means the schools get less money in tax because the value of taxes is assessed on the value that they put. So if they drastically drop it 200K, the tax money goes down. So for like 3-4 years, school districts were having just major layoffs back to back. So they were affected. And then a lot of the at that time, the government was on a plan to decrease. So you were, in addition to decreasing the government size, they were having what we were having off and on. Are we going to have a government shutdown? Are we going to have a government shutdown? So that was always leery. So sometimes when they had that happen, they laid off the contractors because they were worried and they didn't know. So that was happening. And so all of those things were like keeping everybody down, like literally we were in a financial pit, not a hole, laying. No, we were in a pit. It was just like, then you got the thing, you already know, graduated, you got loans and stuff like that, so it was just crazy. And then in the midst of that, I was dealing with what I only knew of one chronic illness, but now I know that there are three. And that was happening because stress, I learned when you get older, you learn more because you didn't know, hey, how was I supposed to know stress is a trigger? So stress was a trigger, like sleep was a trigger. So I was having major health issues. I was dealing with all of that and the emotions of it. And then I'll be 100% transparent with you, Simona. I was dealing with the fact that I was in my 20s, but and married. Like, it's one thing when you don't have a man, but it's another thing when you have one and you really end up realizing I may never have kids, from infertility because of one of
Yeah.
the chronic illnesses I have. So I was dealing with people coming to me. Listen, Simona, I had three friends. Three friends. How is this
Wow.
possible? I had three friends that had babies back to back. They were born a week apart. I could have threw something. Like, how is
Oh
this
my
possible?
God.
And so everybody's like, it's something in the water. Where are you gonna catch it? And I'm like, I'm I'm a,
Oh,
I'm gonna throw something at y'all. Like, I'm over here trying to just hold it together because I'm in pain and I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna have to have another surgery. And it was
oh
crazy.
my God.
And so I literally started becoming numb to everything. I got stuck in my own head. I did not want to be a part of life anymore. And I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Mm.
And at that point in place, I knew there was only two options: either get some help or I wasn't going to get help. And it was going to get really, really bad real quick. And I just had to look at myself and say, you've already been taking everything and you've been trying to do it yourself. So when are you going to get some help? I know you're always the person that encourages and helps and, brings the happiness, you know, but it makes it happen. But when are you going to be the one that goes and gets the help? I went to therapy. I probably was in intensive therapy, child. I think I was in like at least two times a week. At least two times a week, but I had to do the work,
Yeah.
and then that I started to do things that I remember helped me to do in as form of self care and self therapy for me, which is writing. So I started back blogging again because back then it was a blog. Because I told you it was '08 and '09, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we didn't have as much technology like we got now. Like, what is social media? Okay, I think he was probably still trying to figure it out at Harvard, so he didn't have it out yet. So yeah, I started back blogging again, and then the process of blogging, I started writing about my experience, but writing it like I was writing it for someone. And so I
Oh.
started writing and saying, hey, I don't want anybody ever else to feel like this. I don't want anybody else to ever feel stuck, be in their own head. And I know how to jump back into life. I know how to get their life. So I'm gonna write this down so they can have steps and tools and know what to do. And then I was like, yeah, and for the people that care about them, know that they see them hurting, see their pain, see them in trauma, see them in all this, but they don't know what to say or do. I'm gonna write something to them so that they don't say the crazy thing like snap out of it. No, don't say that. Like, that is the worst thing you could say. So I was
Yeah.
started writing that and I left it alone. And 5 years later, I feel like I got a tap on the shoulder and like, hey, tell you wrote a book. And I was like, are you talking to me? Like, you can't be. And they were like, yes, you wrote a book, a whole book, just polish it up, pull it all together. Oh, but one more thing, you gotta do a journal, to get your mind right journal too. You're releasing not
Wow.
one but two books at the same time. And I was like, oh my God, who's doing this? Like, what?
And
But
why?
I did, and as a process of doing that, I realized that I've been doing a lot of things for over 18 years, and it was about time for me to bet on myself. Yes, I did
Mm-hmm.
the nonprofit. Yes, I did the business before, but I needed to bet on me and bring all of me to the table, which is even why I named the business Tanya J LLC after me, because I just felt like it's time to bet on you. Bet on you and bring all of you to the table. Bring Talk with Tanya up under it, but write your book. If it helps one somebody, that's enough. But
Yeah.
I guarantee, but it was like it's gonna help more than one. You know, start. You've already been helping. Mentoring and talking and encouraging and even counseling, even women, teens, young adults, forever. Go get some more credentials behind your name. You already got some more, but go get them just in case somebody needs to know. Fact check you.
Fact check.
Add
Yep.
that piece. Add that piece to it. Get the receipts, and so that they can see that and start your like coaching practice. Same thing, with the speaking. Like, Simona, I've probably been speaking since I was 3 years old.
Well,
As
right?
much as as much as an introvert as I am, I still have been speaking publicly, not just talking to people, no, like literally publicly speaking, at least to 50 or more since I was 3.
Oh my
So it's just
God.
in me. So I was like,
You said
you
introverted? I don't know about that. Yeah.
no, no,
You have
I
such a
am.
big like presence though. Like, well, I guess
Yes,
you can be
yes.
introverted and have that presence, but I think it's
It
sometimes
doesn't
like,
come across.
no, yeah, totally. Exactly.
But that's why I
Exactly.
love the book Quiet. I think it's by Susan Cain, where she talks about the different kinds, because a lot of people assume there's only that one. And it's like, no, the reason I'm introverted is because after I do all of this, I'm going to go under my covers and go recharge and go quiet and just, I'm going to be like, oh, I mean, not that this isn't it, because this is my purpose that's pushing me. But I get to just chill, I'm going to chill by myself or with my husband,
Yep.
quiet time, chill time. I don't have to do all of the hoopla. Yeah,
Like recharge. It's so nice.
yeah, like seriously, everyone's like, isn't this pandemic crisis, like, isn't it so much? And I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm straight, like I'm fine.
You know, I actually was thinking the same thing because I was like, well, it doesn't really feel like, other than having to like not leave in like battle traffic all day long, it doesn't feel like much in my life has changed. I'm like, I'm quite comfortable staying home, and I'm like, maybe I need more hobbies. Like, do I need I need to go out more? I
I
don't know.
mean, I just it's like, number one, my husband actually said this. He was like, "Well, the good thing about all of this is we actually been saving money." I'm like, I know. I think
Yeah,
people need to realize that they haven't caught that. Yes, understand absolutely. If you lost your job and all of this, absolutely, it's tight. But for those that haven't, you've probably been saving hundreds of dollars,
yeah.
gas money,
Food.
restaurant, entertainment.
It's
Make
crazy.
sure you do something with it. I mean, you can do happy, but you also can do smart. So you
Exactly.
can, and that'll
Exactly.
make you happy. And that'll make you happy. You can make some smart moves for the rainy days that may be coming. So
Exactly.
absolutely. So yeah, so publish the book, bet on myself, and that is how I'm here. And even,
Crazy.
or how I'm here even the more, as we were talking about the crisis, is the pivot. I had speaking engagements, I had book signings, I had things in place
Yeah.
that got shut down. Was I going to let myself get stuck, or was I going to use some of those same tools that I was taught and do what was necessary, which is to pivot and find a way to build community and connection, to collaborate with people that were out there doing amazing things, that were wanting to do the same thing that I wanted to do, and just find a way to do it. And so I bet on myself and was like, hey, Simona, I'm telling you. You
It's
want to work together?
I was like, yes, I do actually. Thanks. Oh my God, I love it. So I guess it's like your passion. Was your passion always clear, and like your purpose always clear to you? Or was it like through doing all of the work that you were doing? Is that how you found that passion and then, turn it into this really incredible brand of books and speaking engagements and helping other people?
I think the passion was always there, because I'll just tell you, make it plain for you. I'm a pastor's kid. And so
Mm,
I am very much the person that believes in servant leadership, to serve and help others and, be there and support. And so it was just what was in me to do that, to think of other people first, and, help out and be whatever you can be. But the purpose was always to be an entrepreneur. So if I
mm,
had to do the corporate America side, to let that be my private investor, that was the plan. But it was always to be an entrepreneur, and it was always to help in a leadership style. When I think about it, because literally, my dad, I would literally, he had all of us working. It was a mechanic shop, but he did not have me changing any oils or tires, because he knew I was like,
nope.
no.
Not me, thanks.
No, so he had me working like the front office part. Like I was probably like 7 or 8 or 6. I don't know. I was young. I was little, and I would go out there with my little clipboard, and I would fill out the information And
Oh,
I know I was young, and I'm like, can he read my handwriting? Because I know I had chicken scratch. But I would ask the people their information, their mileage. I would go and get their license plate. What are you getting today? And they're like, oh, it's so cute. And with that, I knew my dad had a lot of great qualities in what he was doing. But I also knew, and I actually started even before I even graduated helping, but I knew that there was a lot of things as an entrepreneur he did not know. And I wanted to be able to come up with strategies and plans that he
yeah,
could, he could wear the, go through those rainy seasons or go through the
yeah,
winter. Like nobody's trying to get their car fixed in the winter unless it's an emergency. And so
right,
those will be shorter times. And so I knew
yeah.
then, even as a young kid, that I wanted to help with businesses to help them come up with strategies to do business better. So life kind of just brought out more pieces of it, but it was in
Mm-hmm.
there the whole time.
That's awesome. And I mean, like now, if you think of this time period, because you were saying something earlier about when sort of how this all kind of started was during a recession, right?
Hmm. Yep,
But like we're apparently about to go back into one. So it's like
that's
a
what they say.
completely, right? I'm like, I'm just waiting on the sidelines to see what's going to happen. But like, it's kind of crazy now because you have this business that,
Hmm.
you know, I don't know. I was like reading this thing at the same time that, uh, what was it? Like Uber came
Hmm.
out of the last recession, like all of these
Yeah,
things are kind of,
they've been talking about that. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. And it's like, okay, so like, let's see what else is going to happen now. What other
Yep.
kind of businesses are going to, come out there. And,
Hmm.
but that's the thing. And like, I think one of the biggest key like things in this moment right now in where we're in is being able to provide people all of that free value and supporting people, which is literally what you do every day. If you go onto your social media, it is all free value. It is all like series
She's
after series after
she's
series.
like telling you might be doing too much.
But I'm liking it though. But
I
that's how you can show your like what what you bring to other people, right? um and so okay, for people who, okay, it's easy to get stuck in a situation. It's easy to feel stuck in your same patterns, in your same routines, even if you really want to change. And so like what tip would you give to our listeners to help take them from that place of being stuck to starting to take action?
I say something that they've probably heard before, but sometimes it takes somebody new saying it to you. So, you didn't get stuck overnight. And so,
Mm-hmm.
because of that, number one, give yourself a break. You've made the decision to at least recognize that you're stuck. Second, you realize that you're stuck. Second, you've made the decision to do something about your stuck. Third, you actually are ready. Do you know how long that takes sometimes for people? Like, it could take a long time. And so the
Yeah.
fact that you accomplished those three is amazing. So don't get so tied into trying to do it overnight when it didn't happen overnight. I'm going to tell you, let's take it and let's do it step by step. Let's break it down into smaller pieces or things that you can do to work towards getting unstuck. Like if your routine has been something, I'm not just going to throw your whole day off like that, like unexpected. Like, listen, I may tell you, okay, instead of, drinking your coffee at home, hey, what about drinking it once you get to work? Maybe
Mm.
that might help you to be on time. That's
Yeah.
one thing that you're working towards, time management and doing and making room for you to be able to produce your purpose through vision. But I
Mm.
have to show you ways that you can cut some time and work on time management to get to the ultimate goal of being able to start seeing your purpose being produced, which is your vision. But I started here, and so I'm breaking it up, and I'm taking you there in a process because it didn't happen overnight.
Mm-mm.
So why would you put that pressure on yourself? Like literally think about that. When you put somebody in a situation where it's complete change overnight, you're setting them up for failure. Like you have
Mm.
to work with them so that they don't become overloaded, so they don't, automatically think they're a failure because it didn't work. That's not right.
so good. That's so good, but it's so true. And I mean, like, I have tons of people who come on the show, and I talk to a lot of people, and nobody has ever really said it like that. That, like, you didn't get here overnight. It didn't happen into, it's a series of decisions and actions, and, like, sort of letting yourself get to that place. But it's totally possible to come back to the other side of that and working through the stuck. I love that.
Yep.
So good. And then if you think
I'm good.
you are, I love this. This is awesome. And okay, if you're thinking about, like, the present moment, especially right now in this, pandemic that we're in right now, and by the time this airs, who knows what type of where we're going to be at in this pandemic. I, like, no crystal ball, have no idea. But I think
I don't
that
think they know. Did I say
no,
that out loud?
no, it's crazy. Nobody, I don't honestly, I don't,
Like, it changes every week. Okay, we're gonna do this week. Okay, wait a minute. You're like,
just
what?
kidding.
You can't even plan. I can't even plan.
Exactly.
Am
Like,
I
oh,
am I
we're gonna
getting
open this,
married this month or not? Like, tell me so I'll know.
right? Oh my God, we had to push our wedding back a year, but it's better that way because, like, honestly, I don't know. I was thinking about it, and it was like, okay, we could have still done it. It could have still been a thing that we did, but would it have been the same? No. You know what I mean? Like, would it have been really what we would have wanted? Probably not, Anyways, and, like, could all of the people been able to come? Probably not, because the borders are closed. So we're in Canada. So
Yeah, I mean, and not
small
only
detail.
that, you put that pressure off of yourself of trying to wait on
Mm.
somebody else to make a decision for you. You made the
Ooh.
decision yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. That can translate into so many different areas of your life too. Like, so many different areas, whether you're working with, like, a coach, you're working on your business, you're working in your personal life, like, anything that you do, that is so key
You
because,
got to own it. You
yeah.
own your happiness. When you own it, that's how you make it happen. When you wait on somebody else to do it for you, then you're limited based upon what they say, when they say, how they say it, and then who knows if it'll happen. But when you own it, you take the responsibility of it. You take responsibility of it, and you do the work to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it happens for you.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Okay, I want to talk really quick about your books.
Yes.
The two that you have quite a few, I think, right? Did I read
Let's
that
talk
wrong?
about Mind Matters. Let's talk about Mind
Yeah,
Matters because
let's
this
talk
is
about that one.
Self-Awareness Month. Okay, and that's basically the one that came out of all of what was happening, me being stuck and everything. But I feel it's so important now, and I've been talking about it. And I actually did like a 3-week series on it, in my stories, and then like actions and steps and everything. And I'm gonna probably end up putting it on my online school. It's
Mm.
not for free for like a really low price because it's what's needed right now. But I'm pushing it not for sales, but because I understand what it's like to be in the middle of a furlough, in the middle of being laid off, in the middle of disaster pay. Because a lot of people don't understand disaster pay is not 100%. It's
Mm-hmm.
part. It's basically almost close to what unemployment is. Most times it's only 25% of your pay. So where's the other 75?
But
Not in your
right,
not
like,
in not in your bank account. And so you still have to figure things out. Some people are having to pivot where one's still working, but the other one is not. And so yes, we're happy that one, but that's a huge balance to take on the responsibility, when that one didn't have that huge burden or responsibility to keep things afloat. So it's a lot happening. So I bring up Mind Batters to say that I want everybody to do a self check. I want everybody to take advantage of the free resources that are out there. I don't know what's going on in Canada, but like EAP, if you guys still have jobs, you don't have to have the insurance through your company. If they offer EAP, that is free therapy
mm,
sessions. They have in some places, some insurance companies have, some jobs have extended it like from 3, 5 to 7 to like 11, 13, 15 free sessions with a therapist.
wow. Okay.
Free, free. So check it out with your job because you should not, and know this, it's not, you don't have to be the one. So if your spouse got laid off and they need therapy, EAP is for the entire family. So
Mm,
let them use that benefit, call and let them get the help that they need so that they can process it. Because I tell anybody, in Mind Matters, I even talk about it, but I'm going to speak on it even in a later book, is that you need to feel your feelings. A lot of times people want you to just get over it, or it's like it's not that big a deal, or like, I mean, we're all in this. We are, but we are not all in this the same way. We are not all
Exactly.
being affected by this the same way. And so how dare I not be respectful of that and honor that, and see the truth that you're living? No, like, no, like me and Simona may be okay, but Simona's friend that was going to be in the wedding is not. And so even probably some of those decisions you guys made in, postponing the wedding was because you were realizing that, number one, you were putting people's safety in danger.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the people that maybe were in the wedding, they got laid off, or they got furloughed, or their spouse, like somebody got hit, and you respected that because you made the decision to make your own happy now, even if
Mm-hmm.
it took down the road. And so, like, that's a lot of what I'm talking about with Mind Matters. So you can get the book and you can get the journal. They're all on Amazon. They're also on my site at shop.tanyajmiller.com. But even the more I am expressing, call a therapist, talk through this. There's a lot of resources that are free, online support systems that are free, intherooms.com. Like, they got so many support room systems. Like, I'm like, I didn't even know they had a support system, like a room, like a class for this. Like, anything you could probably
Wow.
think of a person needs support for, they have a room for it, and it's free. So I'm pushing it because I just want people to know that we want everybody to get through this, and we want everybody to get through this whole. And we
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to get stuck like some people did in '08. Because you remember, people were literally in New York,
Oh my God.
they were jumping, like they were committing suicide because they were literally losing tons of money overnight, and they didn't know how to manage it. I don't want that to be the same story, whether it's New York, whether it's Ontario, whether it's Toronto, whether it's Ottawa, whether it's Texas, whether it's California. I don't want that to be the same story if we have to go through this again, because check this out. Think about it, Simona. We are going through two possible recessions, and we haven't even been, it hasn't even been 20 years. Like, it's almost barely like 10 years different. 12.
Right.
Like, who would have ever thought that that would happen that many times in our lifetime?
Right. And the impact and like the severity and like the scale, you know what I mean? And how quickly it shifted, like how quickly. It's
Yeah.
wild because here's the thing. And I think that this is what, if I've learned anything from this now, you can try and plan. You can plan every single little thing. You can do everything that you can have. Everyone has their plan. Everyone has their life goals. Everyone has their vision. Everyone has what they want to do in their life. But you're not guaranteed that. You know what I mean? You're
Mm-hmm.
not guaranteed it. And so I think this has been
An eye opener.
huge for, I
Hmm.
think, so many people. And that, you realize that maybe the house that you have, you can't afford it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You can't afford the life that you've created for yourself. And then, like you're
You
saying with Mind
realize
Matters,
it was already there already.
yeah. And then,
Yeah.
you sort of like wake up, like you're saying with Mind Matters, and what you were talking about in New York, like so many people don't understand how to
Get
like
unstuck.
live and experience
Hmm.
that
Yep.
because they've never had to do it before. You know what
Yep.
I mean? And it's crazy, which is why it's so important now more than like ever, because of all of the talk that people have been sharing about mental health and all of the
Yeah.
things that people have been shedding light on.
Yep.
Like, the good part is that it's something that's probably a lot more, socially accepted than it was 12 years ago,
Uh,
right? Like,
100%. Like, nobody was openly talking about, I've been to therapy, it helps,
yeah.
or, you should go, or things like that. Like, you know, and not just, it's, and in some cultures and races, it's still a stigma. Like,
Hmm.
it's still like a faux pas. Like, no, we handle things in our own way, and don't do that. You don't need that. Da, 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 da. But hey, take care of you, own your own happiness, because it's your responsibility. And so if that means going to therapy, if that means working with, with me, working with you, Simona, then that's what's necessary. That's what's
Hmm.
required, because we don't want another 2008. We don't want that.
Mm-mm.
And it's not about the recession and the money. It's about the hope that was gone.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We don't want you to lose hope. We don't want you to lose the ability to dream, and to trust and have faith. We don't want that. So
Exactly.
we want to
Exactly.
make sure you're here and you're whole.
Oh, I love that. That's good. And so important. And do you think that you know, this do you think that a lot of like the anxiety and the uncertainty, you know, comes from thinking trying to figure out what the future is going to look like and thinking too far ahead in the in the future?
I do. Like
Yeah.
somebody, I'll be honest, somebody wrote a review in Amazon, I think, or Goodreads, something like that. And they said she told people to stop thinking. Who said something like that? And I'm like, did you read the chapter? What I said?
Did you
Like
read the book? Like,
sometimes when you are an overthinker, when you are a worrier, I'm not saying that it's going to happen overnight, but I am telling you, like, sometimes you got to hit that pause button. Sometimes you got to turn the cell phone off, get off of social media, maybe give yourself, instead of 8 hours, let's work it down to six, let's work it down to four, because you're feeding yourself. You have to think about what you're feeding. What you're putting in
mm,
is not enough of what you the positive that you need. And so that's what's coming out. That's what you're absorbing. That's what you're starting to think. That's where you're starting to get worried and anxious and all of that. So yes, ma'am, I do believe it's all the uncertainty, all the indefinite, all the, like there's no answers there. So they're worried about trying to make decisions. That's why I said I would, when you said it, like I can't even bring it up. Like when you said it, like I feel you only have two choices if you're in situations right now where you have to either celebrate now and live and express the moment now, or make
yeah.
the decision of when you will do it later. But you
Yeah.
can't do this in between, because when you do, you are at the mercy of whoever says and when. So that's why I love the fact of people that are celebrating either now or making the decision that because they want it to be as special as the day that was they met, that they're making their decision together or as a family to do it
Mhm.
later. But
Yeah.
to be in the in between, that's you can't. Like you have to. That's what I call the dash. That is not okay, because you literally don't know where it's gonna start or end. So
It's
you're just
literally,
here.
yeah.
No, no. So you have to stop. You have to stop thinking. You have to unplug. You have to unwind. You have to stop worrying about everything and everybody, because guess what? You just said it. We cannot plan for everything. And not only can we not plan for everything, we have no control either. We are,
Mhm. Mhm. It's so true. And then if you think like even what you were saying about, you know, if social media, for example, how many hours do you spend on your phone or all these different things? But like if you don't have like, okay, I find if I don't wake up in the right way, like as in like, you know, giving myself the space to like, get into my morning routine, get into my
yep,
day. If I don't do that, oh my God, I go online and I spiral. I'm like, oh my God, look at all these things everybody is doing. I'm not doing enough. I'm not good. And then the story, I'm not good enough. My business isn't good enough. Like one after the other and then
yep,
literally an hour later, it's like, wow, like that escalated real fast. And
yeah.
it didn't need to be like that, you
But
know?
that's like what you said. That's part of it as well. Like part of the what steps you literally just laid it out. If you're that person that, in addition to everything we talked about today, but just like what Simona said, what are you doing? How are you starting your day? What are you doing with the middle of it? And then how are you ending it? Because that's
Mm,
all pivotal. How you wake up and what you put your mind on and what you set your mind and things to do, that's powerful. So you have to get some type of routine, not necessarily the one that you're stuck from, but one that is going to give you what you need to be able to face the day ahead. And
mm-hmm.
in the middle, what are you doing? Are you just watching Netflix and chill all day? Like, come on. Like, did you read a book? Did you listen to a book? Like, come on. I need you to do a little bit more
Go
with
for a
this
walk.
time. Yeah, yeah. And then how are you ending it? Like, what are you putting your mind at rest on? Are you putting your mind at rest on the number of people that have been new cases today, or the number of people that died? Are you putting your mind on, well, such and such has a book release and I'm still having my editing? Such and such is talking about they have 5 new coaching clients on their page. They're bragging. Like, no, they're not bragging. They're just saying thank you. Like, no, like, what is the no.
I want to quickly pause this interview and tell you about the Handel Group coaches that I've had the honor and privilege of bringing onto the Happiness Happens podcast. With every conversation and interview, I've learned something so impactful and so life changing. Inner You Life is the online coaching course from Handel Group that gives you the tools to get yourself unstuck, wildly happy, and thriving where it matters most to you. Your relationship to yourself, career, love, body, money, time, and more. From wherever, whenever. Recommended by Hugh Jackman, Dr. Mark Hyman, Forrest Whitaker, Elena Brower, and hundreds more. Taught in MIT, Stanford School of Business, and 50 plus institutes of learning across the world. Visit inneryou.coach and use the code happinesshappens at checkout for $75 off. Now, back to the episode.
Comparison. We own our happiness. That's how we make it happen.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And it's so true what you're saying. It just brings you into this like scarcity mindset that there's not enough to go around, that
that's why we don't have any toilet paper.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable. As if, honestly,
did you take all the toilet paper, Simona?
No.
I was about to say,
no.
wait a minute.
No. When this all first started, my fiance and I, we live with my grandma. Mm-hmm. And all of us were just sitting at home and we're like watching on the news how the stores are like out of control. People are just going crazy. And literally 4 days later, it was empty. Like nobody was lining up. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. But then my grandma says, she goes, she's so like, she's Italian. So she has like a really thick Italian accent, but she's saying, I don't understand why everyone just goes and gets toilet paper. Like, if you go to the bathroom, like, you could just clean yourself in the shower, like, essentially. And I was dying. I know.
She was like, you could just go in the shower real fast.
Like, why would that be the thing? Like, the world is ending and let's get toilet paper. Honestly. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
Toilet paper, it's still gone. Toilet paper. So this is what was the thing for me. I was like, why is hand sanitizer gone, but soap is still here? I was so confused. I was like, wait. Like, it was so funny. I was like, you would literally go, all the hand sanitizer is there, but all the hand soap is still. I was like, so we don't know.
Okay, I guess we don't wash our hands anymore. No, it's like, you know what it honestly reminds me of? It's like when you go to the airport, okay, and you step foot into the airport and you literally forget how to like be a human being. You don't know how to bring your bag. Do you know what I'm saying though? Like, you don't know how to bring your bag, you don't know where to go, you're lost, you're confused. It's literally reminded me of the exact same thing. And I was like, oh my God, it's just like, because it's just different. I don't know what the reasoning is.
You should never come to DFW airport because it's the easiest airport in the United States. It's big. It's so big. It's so. Listen,
are you in Texas?
Yes. If you end up at the wrong terminal, you can't just like walk to it. It's not right there.
Is it the Houston airport that you're talking about?
No, Dallas Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
It's the hugest one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so we went to
it's
Austin.
Like if it's not the hugest. My husband worked there. He's not there anymore, but he was telling me all the statistics. I want to say it's the hugest airport. Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
we went to the one in Houston because we flew to Austin we were just going for like a weekend or whatever. And we went to the Houston airport and there's like trains to bring you to here. And there's like 18 bars in the span of like 10 minutes. And we were like, oh my God, it was like a little mini vacation just being in the airport on the layover. Like it was good. I really liked
it. Yes. But that is how it is. Like, don't ever be late. That's all I have to say. And be at the wrong terminal because you will not make your flight. But even in all of that, and us just joking, like, that's also some of the way you can find peace in the middle of all this. Like, sometimes you just have to laugh at the things that are out of your power, out of your control. Sometimes you just have to laugh, so that literally in my family, we say sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying. Not to say that you won't cry, but if all you've been doing is crying, laugh a little, balance that thing out, because we can't stay in this place. We can't stay stuck. We can't stay wondering. We can't stay not knowing what it will be. What my mom would always say, the only thing you can control is you. And I didn't get that as much as I'd get it now, because it really like spoke volumes, that literally I have no power over anybody else. I can want all things and want it to work out, like you said, and plan but I have to make decisions. I have to figure out how I can pivot my business during this time frame. I
Yeah.
have to figure out how I can pivot to be able to still grow my business or even just offer value, because that might be the thing I need to do. Just sow seeds and offer value to people that for what they need. Like, have you seen it? Like, so many restaurants, they're pivoting. They're not focusing on trying to make sales. They're focusing on feeding the homeless or feeding
Hmm.
some of the employees of
Yeah.
restaurants that were workers that they lived on tips. So not only did they not have any for real salary, they don't get tips now either. So they're feeding them, the food banks. Like, focus
Yeah.
on ways that you can give during this time as well, because that is also a way to pivot. That is also a way to be able to still help yourself not stay stuck, because you're not thinking, and I'm not trying to say this meanly, but you're not absorbed by you and your
It's
circumstances
true.
and your stuff. You actually are trying to help somebody else with theirs. And when you start helping somebody else with theirs, you kind of start to realize that your stuff wasn't that
Heavy.
major,
Yeah.
uh, so
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, you
That's
you
so
got to pivot.
important. I love that. And especially, I love that you said that, thinking about other people and creating that new type of community and relationships. And what I love so much about you saying that is that we, before all of this, lived in a society that's very driven by stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff and doing things. And
Accumulating. Yep.
yeah, yeah. And it's
Make
like,
who's bigger, who's
yeah,
larger, who has more.
who has more? And it's
I
like
look better than
not,
you.
yeah, yeah. And it's not really realizing, like, that everyone's kind of like all in the same playing field. And if you think about it, like over here, our government has done, they give everyone this benefit. So everyone who has been impacted by this gets $2,000. Okay, doesn't
Hmm.
matter if you make $1,000 a month or if you make $6,000 a month, you all get $2,000. So if you think about it on like a human, like on a human life scale, we're all the same at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what job you do. It doesn't
We
matter
all have
how.
we all have on yoga pants
Yeah.
and sweatpants right now. Nobody's in a suit. Nobody cares about what if it's Prada or if it's Gucci or it's Louis Vuitton. Like, you're not going nowhere.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not going nowhere. Exactly. And it's just like how much of that stuff actually really matters. But what actually matters is the people who are taking care of you, and the people who are risking their lives to do all of those things, like your frontline people. And it's like it's all of that. And it's, I don't know, I just think that it's so important to have that part to you. And like, just, I don't know, I always come back to this one thing of always trying to leave people a little better than you found them, you know?
Oh, that's definitely the case. That is
Yeah.
definitely it. Because, and the one thing I always tell people, you got to remember, guys, that our frontline people aren't only the medical staff. Our frontline people aren't only the police and the paramedics. Our frontline people are literally the people at our grocery stores that are
Yeah.
stocking and bringing out product, people that are at our Walmarts and Costco and the gas stations and different places where they aren't getting the light and they aren't getting the emphasis, but they literally have been the ones that have been open just like the hospitals the whole time. They never
Mhm.
close,
Mhm.
and they're not anywhere near at that time. And even at the hospitals, it's not just the doctors and the nurses, it's also the ones that come clean and come housekeeping and dietary and for
X-rays,
food. Yeah,
technicians.
like,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of people. So
Yeah.
know that, you know as we try to figure out how to manage this new way of life, however long it may be, or however definite it may be, we still have to be reminded that we have a purpose inside of us. We have a responsibility for our own happiness, and we have to do something to ensure that both happen. We have
Mm.
to. That's why we're here. You know,
Yeah.
even in the unfortunate and indefinite times. You said it at the beginning of the show. People still made something happen. They created billion-dollar businesses. They created services that we don't even know how we would live without.
Yeah.
So if they can do it in those times, and we know what they did then, how better would we be to use what happened less than 12 years ago and do it now and do it better this time around. We have a second
Exactly.
chance to do it better and to serve better and to, like you said, to be the light. I love that. You talk about the intuitive thinking and how you help people. You be the light that you want others to see. You put forth that energy. You put forth that space so that your space makes room for
Yeah.
them, and they want to come where you are. They want to be around what you say and how you're doing it, and just to know that that very thing is how you work and how you help them to literally not just be a change, but I love how you said it, be a massive change, like be an explosion of change, so that they go beyond dreams, but they really do the work every day to make it a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that about what you said about yourself, because it's all connected. It's all
Mm-hmm.
connected. And when we realize it's connected and that we're connected, we're able to see and be and do better, even in
Oh,
uncertain times,
oh
even
my
in
God, I
times
love
when we
that.
don't know. So I love it.
Thanks.
You're
That's,
showing people every day how to thrive, ma'am. Like, you're
thank
showing them how to
you.
thrive. You're talking to them how to thrive. You're coaching them how to thrive, whether it's business or their personal life. You have the heart of a visionary and you're doing it. So I love that you're doing it big and you're showing up in a real way.
Oh my God, thank you so much. That's so kind. I wasn't expecting that. That's really kind. Thank you. Thank you so much. But you know
Absolutely.
what? It's true. And it's funny that you bring that up. I've been talking about this, on my social media channels this week, that, we all have a vision. There's a purpose to the vision, and that vision connects you to a message. And then that message gives you the presence. Do you know what I mean? And it's not that you don't have the presence, because everybody does, but it's how does that vision and mission connect to that message, then connect to that presence, and make that really big. And
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's
Explosive.
yeah, everybody has it. Everybody has it,
Yes,
you know?
everybody has their own party and ability within them. I love that. I love that.
Exactly.
The presence. Yes, I love that. Yeah,
Me
you
too.
have to do something with it, because like literally I pick, like, the energy is so like massive, and so like that's why I just keep saying explosion, because you literally are working in your area where you're at. You're literally trying to be the explosion that ignites the light, the purpose, and the passion in people, so that
Wow.
they can move beyond where they've been. Because sometimes some of the people that you work with, they're stuck in where they've been, and you're trying to teach them and show them where they're supposed to go, and the
Mm-hmm.
business acumen to take them there as well. So I'm loving
Exactly.
the awesome energy.
Oh my
Just
God, thank you.
explosive.
Thank you. Explosive. I'm just going to change the name of the show, everyone. No, copyright Tanya J. Miller. Tanya, can you tell us, how can someone create happiness in their life every day starting today?
Absolutely. Make a decision and own it.
Mm.
Own your happiness, own whatever it looks like to you. If it's, one step and it's a baby step, take it. But the fact is that you made that decision to do it. You made that a requirement, and you said, I won't go another day without being happy. That's
Mm.
big. Own it, live it, do it, and expect to see some results. Expect it.
That's so key. Expect it. Yes, because okay, tell me if you've ever seen how people do this, okay? Tell me okay, have you ever seen people do something, okay, and you're like, oh my God, like that's so incredible. And then they're like, well, yeah, I'm gonna do this one thing, but it's probably never gonna go anywhere and whatever. No, you change that story for yourself. You know what I mean? Like of course it's gonna, something will always happen. Everything is an exchange of energy. You put energy out, you get something back in. How it comes to you, you might not exactly know. You'll
Mhm.
never know the exact way that it's going to come back to you. But I love that you said expect it, because that's the mindset shift that people need to see.
Yep.
That's the power.
Especially now, you have
Yeah.
to expect that there's opportunity. You have to expect that you'll have some kind of way you're going to get happiness that today.
I love that.
You got to expect it.
Where can our listeners find you? Because I know they're going to want to learn more. All the places. I'll put
So
everything in the link in the bio too, in the show notes too. But
Talking with Tanya, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. That is where you will find me every day providing motivation, inspiration, encouragement for where you are at. Apparently, according to Simona, I'm giving too much for free, but
No,
it's
no,
my assignment.
no, you're not.
It's
I'm
like,
loving it.
oh my gosh. Also
That's what people
on
need right now.
I know, yeah. I'm actually gonna start working to do a free group coaching set a
Ooh.
group session for 4 weeks. Basically 4 sessions. I'm gonna be that got on my heart and in my spirit to do that yesterday. So I'm
Mm.
gonna work on that. But yeah,
You
so
know,
that's
just
coming soon.
along the lines of that, I love that so much because a friend of mine, who I know she listens to the show. So hey Nicole, how's it going?
Hey Nicole.
Hey Nicole, she started a like a weekly business Zoom call where
Hmm.
anyone can hop on. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, what niche you're in, whatever you come across or last minute. Everyone is welcome to this call. It's on Tuesday nights at like 8 p.m. Eastern time. But she created this space and like people get to come on, and sometimes it's business that we're talking about, but sometimes it's just fun, and sometimes it's just, like talking with other people and connecting again because you've probably been at home for however many months or weeks or whatever.
And you watch
It's
every
the
Netflix
best.
series.
Literally every single one, Tiger King 500 times, but
I'm
I,
done. I'm done.
oh my god.
Yes, we
But
both
yeah,
watched it.
yeah. Oh, honestly, yeah, we did. Yeah, but no, love that you're thinking of doing that Zoom call because she's done it. Like I think
Hmm.
there was one that I missed or two that I missed, but it it's that community piece, it's that
Yep.
togetherness that's important. So I'm excited for you that you're doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's coming, and I'm gonna figure it out sometime this week. But
I love it.
also, if you just want the regular coaching, that's on my site. Leadership strategy sessions on my site, as well as speaking. Hey, we don't know how long we'll be this way, and apparently I can't fly to Canada, so there may be somebody else that wants me to be at a summit or a Facebook Live or a podcast interview. So check me out. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm really building connection, collaboration, and community because
Mm,
it's big, and it was big already before, but it really showed up in a real way for me when all of this happened. It just really just kind of clicked real fast. Like, yeah, I can't,
yeah.
like, my purpose cannot be stopped,
Mm-mm.
by whatever this is. And we didn't even know a lot then. So, TanyaJMiller.com, school.TanyaJMiller.com is where all the online classes are life and leadership. They're there. Like I said, I'm going to be probably loading some more end of month. And then shop.TanyaJMiller.com. It's still directly linked on the site, but these are
Awesome.
how you can get there directly. The books, the journals, the message merch, Purposeful Life. I'm wearing one.
Okay, I was gonna say I love your shirt.
Yes,
I,
that's
I
me.
was like, oh my
That's
god, it's
me.
so cute though.
Yes, it's
Oh, I
basically
love it.
purpose and it says you're full. So purposeful life. Oh, you didn't know that's what it meant? Yeah. So it's the full, like the gas
Oh
tank,
my god, I
and then
love it.
purpose, and then life. So purposeful life.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, my fiance is gonna love this shirt too because he's a mechanic, and it's so good.
Yeah. So the message merch, basically, I say it's merch with a purpose. So I have message tees, hoodies, sweatshirts,
Wow.
everything. All the designs are available to be in different things. I fell in love with message buttons, so I have buttons. I
Oh,
got a ton of them.
cool.
I have message buttons, stickers, affirmation cards. All that's on shop.tanyajmiller.com. And if you
Wow.
want bit.ly, all caps, join fam. If you join there, you get 20% off your first order. And like I said, there's free classes online on the school too. I'm gonna make sure you get what you need and meet you where you're at.
Oh
So
my
if
god,
the
I
free
love
stuff
that.
is where you're at, let's do it. But I'm actually also on Amazon as well and Barnes and Noble. So the books are there in print, digital, audio, and then the journals are there in print. So check me out.
Amazing.
Definitely. But more than anything, I'm grateful for the opportunity to not just talk with Simona, not just meet her, but connect with her in a very real way. And I hope that you guys all over, because I know she's not just in Canada or the US, but all over where you hear her voice, that you are not taking for granted the light and the explosive energy that she brings, and that you guys are following her, subscribe, you guys are connected, you're reaching out for coaching, like you are giving her what she needs so that she can be what she needs to be to others. her light goes further when you help it, like the prism, when you help it bounce off of it and bring it to the next place. Yeah, her light is like that. So you guys keep being that prism so she can keep going where she's supposed to go and be what she needs to be, which is explosive.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say, but thank you so much. Like the amount of gratitude that I wish you could feel inside my heart. I really I don't know how to explain it other than that. Like that is probably the nicest thing that anyone has ever said. So thank you so much for saying
It's
that.
explosive. I feel it. All the way in Dallas, Texas. I feel it. You got me dancing.
Me too. I don't think I've ever just done it.
Oh I don't even know why I'm dancing, but I'm dancing with Tanya. We're dancing.
But Tanya's dancing and I want to dance. And
we're dancing on out.
We're dancing on out, exactly. If you're not watching this interview but listening to it, we have some really good moves. So just saying. But thank you so much, Tanya, for coming onto the show today.
Absolutely.
This was amazing. Thank you. And
absolutely.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode on the podcast. Please go back to the beginning, listen to it again, pull out all of those incredible gems that you know Tanya's saying to you, and she's saying it with love because it's true and it works. And be sure to check her out, join her groups, get onto her content. Like she said, she has everything to meet you where you're at, and it's so important in this time. Take care of yourself. You have to take care of your mental well-being. You have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people. So make sure you connect with her. I'll make sure all of her links are in the show notes here. And until then, remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope these words have brought you inspiration, insight, and a bit more happiness. Please leave a comment or a review if this episode resonates with you. I would be so grateful. Until next time, remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it.